Hey, it's Jaden.
And Melissa.
And Christy.
We're
the co-founders of Launchers Academy.
And we help dropshippers become successful by providing the most relevant e-commerce strategies.
You're tuning into the Launchers Academy podcast experience,
where you will learn all the ins and outs of how to build your very own successful dropshipping store.
So kick back, take lots of notes, and let's make money this year. How to find winning products, winning products, winning products. This is the overly most talked about topic when it comes to dropshipping. But more importantly, for you listening, it's the most important thing that you should be focusing on, because without that winning product, without that great product, it doesn't matter how great your store is. It doesn't matter how great your Facebook or any marketing campaign is. It doesn't matter how great your content is, because it all revolves around this product. And if it's not a great product, you're just wasting your time and money. So with this episode, as it says, how to find winning products, we're going to go over pretty much our little quick hacks and strategies of how you can really bypass the process and more importantly, be on your way to find a winning product. And honestly, this is something that not a lot of materials are talked about on there on the free YouTube and the Google and stuff. So this is where you're actually going to get real advices and strategies so you can find that winning product. So we're going to go over a couple of things here, and I'm going to let Melissa here kick it off. Is what are some things that we can help the person listening today to help themselves find a winning product in dropshipping?
Yeah, absolutely. So the number one thing before you even think about finding a winning product is really making sure that you are doing enough product research to validate the demand for your product. So I'm going to dive quickly into one tip out of the 7-step system that we share to our students, but I'm only going to share one and drop one value bomb right here, right now. So the biggest one that we would say is using Google Trends. And I alluded to this a little bit in our previous episodes, but not diving, in depth of what it is. But today we are definitely going to dive in depth here. So what you can do is, because as I mentioned previously, you want to make sure that you are validating the actual demand for your product to make sure people are searching for this niche as well as this product before you spend a single dollar on advertising. How you would be able to do this is going to Google Trends, and in the search filters, you're going to select country as the United States. Why? Is because United States is the best representation of a buying market. Next, you're going to select the past 90 days. Why 90 days? Is because you only care about what is actually currently happening right now. The third filter is filtering for shopping. And the reason why you filter for shopping is because you only care about what people are actually purchasing over the past 90 days. Now, the last filter, you can just leave it as default, which is the web search. And after having these 4 filters on, what you're going to do is you're going to start searching for singular terms of either your niche area or keywords that surround your product. For example, if we are selling a product in the beauty niche, what I want to make sure is, number one, that the beauty niche products are actually something that people are searching for. So people are actually searching for products in beauty. So I would search up beauty and look at the trending of the graph. When you look at the trending of the graph, you want to make sure that for the past 90 days, it's somewhat going upwards. So it's not something that's just, it had a lot of interest at the beginning of the 90 days, but right now at this point, no one's searching for it anymore. So you want to at least make sure that the graph is trending upwards, as well as the very end point of the graph, which is the current day, it is above the interest of 35. And overall, in the entire graph, you want to make sure the majority of the time it's above the interest of 50. Now, when you start searching these keywords, another thing to keep in mind is you want to start off from an umbrella keyword, which would usually be the niche surrounding the actual product, and then you start diving and narrowing down further on the product itself. Let's say I'm selling a LED beauty device, and an LED beauty device basically has a lot of different lights, like red light, green light, blue light, that tackles different areas of your face and makes you, get rid of your acne marks, your blemishes, blemishes, your pores, and etc. So what you want to start doing as you narrow down further is look to see if people are looking for this device. So for example, I would probably search LED light therapy, something like that, and synonyms revolving around that. However, making sure that it's only a singular keyword that you're using, because the moment you start using 2 keywords or even 3, what's going to happen is a lot of the keywords and the narrows is going to be decreased so much that it doesn't give you good data anymore. So remember, for this step, it's very important that you only use one singular keyword.
Cool. I love that. Anything else we can throw on top of that for the Google Trends as well?
Yeah, so I mentioned, making sure that the graph itself is trending upwards, and that majority of the time, at least half of the time, it's above the interest of 50. At the endpoint, it's above 35. So those are the key points that you want to remember when you are looking at this graph.
Awesome. I love that. And if you didn't catch that, go back and listen to it again, because this is super important. Now, this is only, one step of the 6 steps here that we do teach pretty much the people that we do work with in terms of finding a winning product. But it's also a great step for a lot of you listening to start with, because really at the end of the day, people, here's a little misnomer, right? A lot of people think it's as simple as sitting on AliExpress, Google, and Amazon, whatever other platforms out there. And then they just type in a bunch of products and hope they'll get something, and that's where they'll find the winning product. Well, it's not like that. You actually don't get away with that. And here's the thing. If you're doing it, what's going to stop like 15,000 other people in the world or even more people to do exactly what you're doing? Because it's completely free. It's what everyone knows. But if it's what everyone knows, how are you going to stand up from the rest and find this winning product? Are you going to spend more hours doing this where you're going nowhere? Or you're going to find something that actually works, right? And that's important of an actual step to find it. And, one of the steps that we just pretty much went over, the Google Trends part, it's super important for you to kind of at least validate the first beginnings of you diving into the product, as opposed to just sitting there and typing a bunch of products, testing it, spending your money, and you're really going nowhere. So just keep in mind, once again, this is one of the few or many steps, that we have. So, with that being said, yeah, Google Trends is a great one. Now, back on the topic of how to find a winning product, what's another little piece of advice that you can give here to someone listening there, Christy?
Yeah. Now, Jaden, last time you mentioned about, not just focusing on one niche and being open to multiple different niches and testing those out. So when you are looking for a product, you can definitely look at some of the hot niches out there right now, and I can drop 4 of them. So one of them, Melissa mentioned last time as well, outdoors right now. Outdoors niche is really hot because everyone's kind of recovering from the pandemic and they're going outside and they want to see their friends. So any products that are adding to the fun within a group, or even just anything outdoors that's really exciting and unique. Those are definitely some great products to look into. Number 2, I also touched up upon home goods. Those are always really popular and a really hot niche right now as well. For some people are working from home still, so they definitely want a space that's comfortable and really relaxing to be in, and also decorating their space with some unique products as well. That's definitely one niche to look into too. And then number 3 is gaming goods, so gaming gear. That one's a really hot niche as well. There's a lot of unique, cool products out there that are really useful for gamers, and so there's definitely a lot of products to explore within that niche as well. And then number 4 would be beauty. Beauty is an evergreen niche, especially it's a women-dominated market, and you want to target women because it is one of the biggest consumption market out there. So beauty is always really great niche to look into as well. However, you definitely want to be careful in terms of the products that you pick, and really make sure that the product is unique and helpful, and it again solves a problem. So whenever you're looking into these different niches and looking for products within these niche, always go back to making sure that the product is useful, helpful, and we also have a lot of other criteria that we teach to our students as well in finding a winning product. So these are some niches that you can look into. They're hot niches, and definitely keep yourself open to testing out products within these different niches when it comes to starting your dropshipping store.
I love it. And you want to just summarize the 4 niches again in short?
Yeah, number one is outdoor products. So products that you can play with in a group, or anything that's fun to if you're going hiking, or those are products that are really good to have as well. And then number two is home goods. So anything that makes your space more comfortable, and you're able to make your process and time at home more easier. And then number three is gaming accessories. Those are really hot as well. There's a lot of cool products out there that people want to get their hands on. You definitely want to explore the different products there. And then number four is beauty, which is always a hot niche, especially for women dominated markets. So those are the four niches you definitely want to look into when you're doing your product research.
I love it. And here's the thing, what Christy just did, and what we're doing for you listening as well, is we're giving you a proper roadmap, because it's one thing to just find a product, but it's also another to kind of really narrow in your search where, because you can spend your entire time to just find products after products after products in all different areas, but sometimes you might be wasting your time because maybe someone else already know what niches are doing well right now, so they're only finding products within that niche, so they're going to be a lot further ahead because at least they're focusing on what actively people want to buy. So it's super important, right? So what you want to do with what Chrissy just said on those niches there for the four different industries that you can consider getting into is, get into four of them and really expand your products search based on those niches, because that's what actively people are buying. It's going to be a lot easier as opposed to you just pretty much throwing spaghetti at the wall and trying to find every product and any product, all right? Because the person that tries to find every single product will be the person that finds no product. So super important to understand, and really that's key to being able to narrow in your search and save yourself time. So my little tidbit here if for product research is how to get you started. So with all the amazing advices that Melissa just went over, and also all the amazing advices that Chrissy went over in terms of the niche and also using the Google Trends, that's great. But the bigger question now is how do you even start your brainstorming to find these products? That's a big beast within itself. So I want to kind of give you some advices of here how you can probably properly start. So the first thing you can do is go onto a website called ecomhunt.com. So that's ecomhunt.com. Sign up for a free basic plan. And basically, Ecom Hunt is a whole database of different products that they update every single day that is selling, but they're not going viral or they're on the verge of trending. So what you want to do is look through these products based on the criteria we already kind of mentioned there for you listening, and also based on the niches that we just went over. Is you're gonna pretty much build your arsenal of products and start running them through and doing your own research. So you can start there. It gives you a whole database. The second thing you can also do is go on Google, type in Amazon Finds 2020 and 2021. So what Amazon Finds is basically it's Amazon's whole database based on the whole year of what's been selling really well and what people are constantly engaging with, and based on that specific year. So you want to use Amazon's data already that they've already invested and paid for, and for you to kind of leverage and piggyback off of. And the only reason why you want to do 2020 and 2021 and not the years before that is because really right now we got to be focused more towards what's happening in the world, and that's a pandemic. Right, COVID-19 is going to be lingering around for the next couple of years here. It's not going to completely disappear. So we want to focus on what people are actively buying because of the current situation. So do we care about 2019, 2018, 2017? Probably not as much as we care about 2020, because now that's more what's in demand based on the fact of, people are stuck at home and all that. So do Amazon Finds 2020 and then 2021. Okay, and then the last thing I can also suggest as well is this is super, literally the best thing you could probably do, and you're using another platform's data to give you free data to do your own research. So what I recommend you do is go on Facebook, okay? Go on that search bar, type in hashtag dropshipping, And then once you type in the hashtag, click the category that says video, and then click that. And then what you're going to do is you're basically going to go through like 5 or 7 different videos. You're going to engage with it, watch like 20 or 30 seconds and 5 to 7 videos. Then after you do so, what you're going to do is you're going to exit the browser, and then you're going to open up a new browser and go back into Facebook. And what's going to happen is you're going to basically have Facebook start showing you a whole bunch of different dropshipping or e-commerce advertisement, because what you just did was you basically pixelated yourself. You are now within the pixelated realm of things that, because you engage with dropshipping or e-commerce and all those videos that you were watching, you're basically going to be shown different other people that are advertising products. So what you're going to do from that is you're going to scroll through your Facebook feed, and then basically click on a bunch of different product videos or a bunch of different ads. Go through the websites for these people that are advertising, and you're going to look through what kind of products they're selling. So that's a great starting point. And basically, you just build a whole list of products and run it through the systems. And, if they kick out, they kick out. That'll be awesome. So those are a couple of things here of how you can really find your next winning product. And this is something that's not really talked a lot about on YouTube or Google, or you probably don't hear often. Or if you did, you probably forgot it. So this is a refresher. But more importantly, no one really looks at products like this, or kind of really go about finding their products like this specifically. And we kind of want to help you find your winning product, because going back to what I said in the beginning, it doesn't matter how great your Facebook campaigns are, how great your campaigns are in general, how great your store looks, or how cool your content is, or how much money you're spending. You can't be spending and investing all your time in the wrong areas and the wrong products. And we want to make sure to really help you kind of start developing the mindset of how to really go about finding these winning products. So, with that being said, that's, a couple of positives here that we're going to throw at you. Now, what are some mistakes when it comes to finding a winning product that you foresee there, Melissa?
So, going through all of this, one of the big mistakes that can come out of product research. So we talked about not doing enough product research in our previous episode, talking about the top 3 mistakes beginner dropshippers make. But one mistake that can come out of product research is doing too much research. So diving into these steps is great, but also making sure that you are not doing so much research to the point that you're feeling analysis paralysis. That can happen a lot when you start diving into that rabbit hole and start digging deeper and deeper for this one specific product. You want to make sure that you have a balanced approach of going through steps in your own product research system, and then making sure that if a product does not work, you skip it and you move on to the next product, rather than continuously trying to do more and more research on it and spending so much time on just one singular product. So don't do too much research. You want to make sure that it's well balanced. Go through a strict product research system. If it does not match the criteria, or if the product does not pass, just move on to the next product.
I love that. And we're not going to dive so much into like this specific, answer, as I'm going to ask Christy. But another question that, begs to differ, you're probably going to be wondering is like, how do I know if the product does well or the product is not going to do well? Like, how do I even know? Let's just say I come across product A based on everything that, that I've been hearing you guys say. I find this product. How do I know if it's something that I should continue with, or how would I know based on what? So there's a certain metric that we have in here in our that we teach our students, and I'm gonna let Christy walk in completely, in her viewpoint of how we can really identify whether or not we should move on with the product. But don't give away too much, obviously, right? But Christy, when someone finds a product, what's the next step for them in short? Like, how would they be able to verify whether or not this product is good?
So I would say that in verifying whether the product or not is good, is setting up your general store around those products. So instead of putting together a store that's going to sell that particular product, you definitely don't want to do that. You want to set up a general store where you can test out all these different products to see how it's working, and then running ads on it when you do launch your store. So that's where there's a 3-day method that comes along with when it comes to the ad strategy, where you're testing out whether or not there's add to carts within all the 3 days. So when you test out the products and you want to make sure that, people are actually buying these products, buying the product consistently, and you're making sales on a daily basis, that's when you can really tell that it's one of the popular products that are making consistent sales. So that's what I would say in terms of, making sure that you have a general store that you can test out all these different products and different niches, and then being strict within your ad strategy when you're launching your product.
I love that. And Christy just dropped some, golden nuggets there, and we're kind of teasing you. But if you didn't catch that, she's saying testing it and running a 3-day rule, and also starting a general store first as well. So these are also big things that we're going to tackle in the next couple of episodes. But the one thing that I want to emphasize that Christy brought up is we do have a specific 3-day rule set in place that if you're to advertise a product within that 3-day, after you spend some money on it, it's basically going to tell you whether or not that you should continue with the product. And here's the other thing too, since she brought that up, and since I'm on this topic here, is you listening, right? You might be under the impression that you're supposed to spend a lot of money and just kind of keep hoping that if you spend more money that people catch on to it and then people buy. That's really not it. There's, the reason why we have a 3-day rule, and that's something that we teach our students here, and that we're going to teach you in a later episode of what that 3-day rule is and what you need to do to follow so you don't spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars or even thousands to basically realize that the product's not going to work out, is basically you might be under the impression that you're going to spend money and then you're going to pretty much let it ride for a week or two or even a month, and then the more money you spend, the more people will get to know the product, that you'll eventually hit the trending, or pretty much have a breakout that you basically this product is going to sell a lot. It's not like that. It's actually the opposite. Only within a couple of days you'll be able to realize whether or not this product will do well, and we'll kind of dive more into that. But just something I wanted to emphasize as Chrissy brought that up is, you do want to have a general store, which we'll talk more about, general store versus one product stores or niche store. And more importantly is how you should be testing your products and, what kind of metrics you will follow. So all the great episodes that is coming up, and that's why we want to make sure you always tune back. But going back to it is, finding winning products is going to be like the most said thing, and it's not easy, but it's not so hard as well. What I mean by that is it's only hard if you don't know what you're doing. It's really easy if you have some help. So whether or not you work with someone, it's important to pick up and really understand whether or not that you want to do this yourself with no advice to go off of, and spend years and hundreds of dollars to do it yourself, or would you rather just work with someone? And product research is super important in the sense that you're really not going to be able to find this winning product by yourself. Most of the people that we know that have been doing it for a while, they have an actual system. And, that's why we're going over this for you. And it's super important to understand and realize, hey, look, you're not going to find winning products by doing this by yourself and not just relying on free YouTube and Google advices. Going back on our previous episode, the top 3 mistake there. You can't just rely on the YouTube and the Google. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to take a little right turn here. Products. And, the 3 of us, Melissa, Chrissy, and I, we've tested hundreds and hundreds of products, right? So I want to kind of give you a little bit more nuggets here. So that way you can at least walk away with more. And we always kind of love giving value. I mean, we can sit here and talk for like hours and hours and hours, but obviously we're not. But, after testing hundreds and hundreds of products so far, what is one other piece of advice there, Melissa, you can pretty much impart to the person listening today based on everything that we have not covered yet?
So when I ask, students who just come into the program and they don't have any knowledge about product research, or they have their own product research system, or even talking to, people in general in dropshipping and seeing how they find their winning products, one of the biggest commonalities that I found is that they tell me they sit on AliExpress for hours and start searching up different products just to see which one catches their eye and has that wow factor. And now, while this is something that people can definitely do, it's quite inefficient to do so this way, because you're going to start finding you're going to go down into a rabbit hole of just looking for a whole bunch of products that you start thinking that you like and that you're going to look for to add to your product arsenal to test, but without actually, diving into the market demand, what's actually happening in the landscape. So another, wisdom that I would impart so far is when you're thinking about product research and when you're thinking about what products to sell, is really thinking about what environment you are in right now, whether that be what is the season that you are in and when you're launching your product. So if it's summer, because as we're recording this is in June 2021, it's thinking about products that people will be using over the next 3 months. And then from that angle, what are some of the different, problems that people have as a result of being in the summer? For example, a lot of countries have mosquitoes in the summer, and the mosquitoes are only starting to come out now. Now, if the problem is mosquitoes, what is a product that you can sell in order to combat this problem and help people get rid of that? One of the products that was a winning product over the past, 3 or 4 years was a LED mosquito lamp. What it does is it basically emits this LED light where it captures mosquitoes in its basket because it emits the light, so mosquitoes are actually attracted to it. And once they actually come close to the machine, that's where the machine kind of captures the mosquitoes and kind of kills it. And now people buying this product have found that a lot of their problems with having mosquitoes around their vicinity, whether that be in their home or even in their patio as they're just sitting, drinking a beer or chilling with friends, they no longer have this problem. So it's thinking about what problem you're able to solve based on your current environment.
Cool. I love that. And you brought up a great point too, is solving a problem, which I want to dive into here, kind of like giving my tidbits here that I haven't talked about, right? I want to pass the mic to Christy. So, because we've tested so many products, and believe me, we tested so many products, and give you guys an outline, like we actually have someone who just does the product, research for us, and we're fortunate to have so. And they go through like hundreds and hundreds of products. So that should kind of give you like a perspective how adamant and aggressive we are with finding products, and you should be as well. Just because you found your one winning product, and just in hindsight, this is for the future as well as you're listening, right? In hindsight, it's just because you find your one winning product doesn't mean you should stop. You should always be on the hunt for the next product, for the next product, for the next and the next, because most of the winning products at that current time, they don't have longevity. It's not like you basically found one product and that's going to be the only product you run for the next 10 years. It's not like that. And the best example is like, look at Apple, for example, right? Apple, Steve Jobs, Tim Cook, okay? Look at what their best winning product is. It's the iPhone, okay? So that's their winning phone. But imagine when they found their winning iPhone, whatever version that was. Let's just say it's version 4, iPhone 4, right? Imagine if they just sold the same thing for the next 15 years. Do you think the iPhone 4 in that current model and current state is probably going to sell well? Probably not. People want to get tired, right? But what does Apple do? And why are they like the number one biggest company? And why do they make more money than most companies ever do? Well, it's because every single year they come out with a new iPhone. They know their winning product, but they're just coming out with something a lot better. Some people can look forward to something. So it's the iPhone 5, the 6, the 7, and 8. We're at the point right now this year at the recording of today, it's June 2021, right? There's going to be an iPhone 13 soon. In literally a couple months, there'll be 14, 15, 17, 20. It doesn't really matter. So where I'm going with this is be in the mindset that just because you find your winning product doesn't mean that your conquest is over. That means you have to find another winning product, whether it's the exact same product but something better, or pretty much something related around that specific product that's going to pretty much amplify or make the product better. So just something I want to point out real quick here is to kind of get in the mindset. It's just not about the one winning product. It's about constantly finding multiple winning products. And that's how you build multiple winning stores. And also, we have a lot of revenue coming not from one product, but the whole store itself. So just be in that mindset. But anyways, back to it there, Christy. So because we've tested so many products, like hundreds and hundreds of products, and some of them really didn't make it past our systems at all, and really didn't go that far, what are some products that people want to kind of consider stay away from?
Yeah, I think one of the types of products that a lot of people want to sell in their stores are massage products. So, there's a lot of different massagers out there, neck massagers, eye massager, so many different massaging products. And it's getting a little saturated in terms of all the different massaging products out there. And also, you don't want to, sell products that are already out there in other big box retail stores because you don't want to compete with them most people would probably have bought a product from those stores already. So you really want to find products that are unique and, again, solving a problem. And, of course, there are a couple more in terms of criteria for winning products. But definitely stay away from massage products. Those ones haven't been working well. And I see a lot of students when, they're doing their product research, they pick these products because they're like, oh, wow, it looks so cool. Yes, it solves a problem. People, they have painful muscles and the massage guns, those help with that. However, it's just we find that those products are often losers. And, there's already a lot of them out there. So definitely stay away from, massage products. That's definitely one type of product to not sell on your store.
What's another one?
I think, with beauty products as well, it is a hot niche, but you definitely want to be really careful in picking beauty products just because, again, it's also a very competitive space. So there's a lot of beauty products that some students have picked as well, and those wouldn't work quite well because of how competitive it is. And again, so a lot of these products are already in the big box retailers. So when you are finding, beauty products, you want to make sure that, other stores aren't selling them. And then also that, again, they're unique and they're solving a really big problem for people. Those would definitely be what you want to look into, especially with beauty. Now, also with the beauty niche, it can get a little tricky when it comes to running ads. So you also want to be careful with that. Just make sure that, everything is set up and you're following the strategies to help you really launch your product successfully, especially within beauty, and being careful when you are doing your product research within this niche as well.
So Christy dropped a couple of, golden nuggets just now, and I just want to reemphasize on what these are. So Christy talked about, not selling a saturated product, as well as making sure your product actually solves a problem. So making sure your product actually solves a problem is so important because it's something that's going to add value to someone's life. And as a result of that, they're going to view your product as having a high perceived value. And in dropshipping, it's all about impulse buying. So the moment that you're able to add value to someone's life and they're able to understand the perceived value of your product is where you're going to be able to get that sale from a potential customer. Another thing that Christy talked about was really making sure that it is unique and has a wow factor and is not currently being sold in big box retail stores. I think that's very, very important. A lot of students, when they first come to us, they are looking to sell products that are already available in Walmart or Target. Well, how are you going to differentiate yourself as a brand or a company if you're selling the same things that Walmart or Target, which are extremely big brands and have a lot of trust with customers, are selling? You're not going to be able to differentiate yourself. So the importance here is finding a product that you cannot find in a physical big box store. I think that's extremely important. I just kind of want to re-emphasize that. Now, in a previous episode, we did talk about how beauty niche is a niche that you should get into because it's hot. However, what Christy is saying here is making sure that if you are choosing products in the beauty niche, is not something that Sephora is already selling. So it's not like a lipstick or eyeshadow, which are products that need brand equity behind it before people actually buy it, but selling unique products that are not available in Sephora's or any other of these big beauty stores.
Yeah, I love that. And, just kind of going back as well, and some of the products that you would want to stay away from is a lot of like iPhone, laptop, or computer accessories. They don't do very well. So stay away from like battery packs, Stay away from like keyboard accessories, pretty much cursors, mouses, I don't know, laptop fans, laptop extendable desk, or I don't know, LED lights for the desktop, or the phone chargers, or cool little phone screens and stuff like that. Stay away from that. There's people who are doing well at that, and that's where they are. But if you're to break into that market, it doesn't really do much in terms of solving an actual problem. Like, a lot of people are not actively looking for like laptop accessories and stuff, and they're completely. When I think of laptop accessories, I think like it's a a chalkboard to a nail. You're basically, it's just plain, it's dull, it hurts your ears, and it's not something that people are actively looking for to buy. So I would recommend you listening to stay away from things like that. But Kirsty and Melissa brought up something that I also want to point out is there's certain criteria that you want to kind of keep in mind when you're looking at these products. And these are criteria that's going to help you guide yourself along the way as you are finding these products. And one of them is solving a problem. Okay, so something you got to understand as a marketer, if you never marketed before, if you have no background in business, if you have no background in sales or e-commerce, anything like that, one thing that I want you to get to understand is that the only reason why someone would give you their hard-earned dollars is because you are providing a solution to their problem that they finally just want to solve. So if the products that you're looking at does not solve an actual problem, an everyday problem or a big problem for your ideal buyer, they're not going to want to spend their hard-earned dollars. So one of the criteria you want to keep in mind as you're looking for these products is solving a problem. Like actually solving a problem, okay? I don't mean in terms of solving, and here are the worst niches you can get into, since we're kind of on this topic as well. The worst niches you can get into, and even products, is A, jewelry, B is clothing, and 3 is sports items, okay? Jewelry for obvious reasons, because it's completely overly saturated and there's nothing unique about it. It's not going to make you any different than Tiffany & Co., Cartier, or Louis Vuitton, or any of these big people that are already selling $4,000 or $5,000 jewelry. So jewelry is the worst thing you can get into. However, you can't get into jewelry if you're going to play in the long term. And anything I'm saying here in these categories I'm telling you to stay away from is you can play it if you have enough capital and you're going to be more long-term focused, where you're not going to see the money right away. And if you have the capital to build on that, like actually build up a social presence, build up an actual mission, build an actual story, you can probably get away with it. But who's got time for that or money for that? Not a lot of us. So stay away from jewelry, stay away from clothing, okay? Clothing really does not solve a problem. So for example, let's just say that you want to get into selling clothing. You want to sell some yoga pants, okay? And your unique selling proposition is the fact that it makes women look nicer, or it really emphasizes a woman's bum. That's great, Obviously, you want women buy clothes because they want to look better in it. But what kind of problem are you actually solving? Nothing. And more importantly, what's going to make you different from all the big brands out there that is in the athletic and fitness kind of realm, or the yoga realm, that's going to make you any different, that can spend $1 million advertising about their product and their mission, compared to you, where you can't even spend $1 million. So should you sell clothing? Probably not, unless it solves an actual problem, unless it's completely different. And the best example is, if you were to find a jacket that when someone wears and when they put it on, and they heat up, the jacket cools them down. But, or another example too, is that same jacket, if someone gets super cold walking around, that jacket will warm them up, right? That solves an actual problem. It's disruptive, it's innovative, then you can sell clothing. But if you're just going to sell clothing because you slap your name on it, or you slap like a logo on it, or because it makes a woman look nicer, you're not going to win against all these big brands. And the last thing you want to sell is sports equipment. Sports equipment is the worst thing you can really sell. So those are a couple of things I want to point out. But anyways, yeah, so some of the criteria that we kind of want to quickly go over is solving a problem. Well, what's another criteria that we can give to the audience here, Melissa, other than solving a problem based on the criteria that we get our students to look at?
Well, what Christy touched upon already, and when I was summarizing her points as well, was making sure that your product is not in big box retailers. I think that is extremely important. And although I talked about it before, I want to really emphasize that is because when you are selling a product, you want to make sure that it has a wow factor, and it's able to capture that impulse buying, which is what dropshipping is, right? The purchasers of your products are going to be impulse buyers, because what's going to happen is that they're going to look through your ad, whether that be on Facebook, Instagram, on their feeds, and they're going to see an ad video or an ad image, and that image or video has to capture their attention within the first 3 seconds of them watching it for them to want to click onto that link onto your website and then purchase the product. So it needs to really have a strong wow factor and a point of differentiation, which differentiates the products from all of the other ones out there for you to really have that leverage and for the customer to actually buy from you.
So essentially unique is what you're saying.
Exactly, yeah.
And if they don't sell unique products?
Well, you're competing with the Walmarts, the Targets. Why are they going to buy from you, right? So you're not going to be able to see the sales and the scaling and the consistency in the product otherwise. You might be able to sell a few units, but it's not going to be consistent, and it's not going to get you to that $10,000 a month, $100,000 a month mark.
Okay, so solving a problem, staying away from the big box retailers and making it unique. What's another one that, the audience can really consider when they're looking at products there, Christy?
Yeah, when I talked about, the beauty niche being a hot niche, and because it's women dominated, so definitely when it comes to picking a product, women dominated product would definitely be really, really good to have, especially with, women being the bigger consumers right now, and they're doing a lot of shopping, especially online. So you definitely want to pick a product that appeals to women, because those are usually a lot of the winning products that we're seeing right now in dropshipping.
Now, you're saying woman specific or woman focused. Can people, there might be a question there, the person listening is going to have is, what if it's not woman focused and it's kind of like more men focused? Can they still make money with men focused products?
Yeah, so what you want to do with that is, shaping your product descriptions, the way you're marketing it to be for, women buying gifts for their partners, for men, and just whenever you're putting together your website and landing pages, showing women using the product as well. Those are really helpful to appeal to women, and shaping around your messaging to buying a gift for your significant other or for your family.
Yeah, and just kind of add on that. So, I want to just say there to get you to understand as you're listening that, yes, we are going to encourage you here, the three of us, letting you know from experiences that you do want to focus on women-dominated products, because women do the most spending when it comes to e-commerce. They influence the men's decisions too, right? So yes, you're going to make a lot more money if you're to sell women-focused or women-dominated products, but that doesn't say that you cannot make money with men-focused products. It's just that you're going to make a lot more money selling women products, right? So just going to point it out there to kind of give you listening a head start in terms of finding your winning product. So just kind of, summarize everything up. It's like, of all the tips that we've given you, the criteria is also going to be super important as you're venturing out to find your products. And those criteria is pretty much going to be your roadmap and your guide as you're going through the millions of products that you see, and you're going to say no to, because you are going to say no to a lot of these products, and then also being very cautious for the ones that you do say yes to. And these criteria for you to look back on is going to be super important. So what are those criteria? 1, solves a problem. B, it is not in a big box retailer and it's got to be super unique. And also 3 is that it's woman dominated. What women will buy, because once again, women do most of the e-commerce spending, and funny enough, they're going to basically get their partners that are men to buy it for them, and there are people like that. So those are the 3 criteria. I'm gonna give you a 4th one here, and this is super important to know. Is another criteria you want to keep in mind as you're looking for a product is that it saves money. If there's a product out there that can literally make someone's life easier, solves a problem, but also save money as well, if you're to use it, is super important. So, for example, the best example I can give you is like, would you rather use 15 different straws, or would you rather just use one straw as a reusable straw? Probably the one reusable straw, because A, you only have to buy one, and B, is you don't have to buy another, and C, basically you're helping the planet, right? You don't have to buy multiple of the same item that can be just reusable. So when it comes to saving money, this is also super important. So that's another criteria that you want to kind of look at as you're finding products. If you're able to help someone solve a problem, if you're able to help someone save money, it's unique. And also more importantly, is that I'm losing my train of thought here. Woman dominate. Yeah, woman dominated, right? Yeah, you're going to be on the precipice of finding a really great product. So, as we can just sit here all day long and talk about how to find your winning product, right? We want to kind of get you to fish, because in life, it's better for you to learn how to catch your own fish than really for someone to give you a fish all the time. So we hope you take all the notes. I took a lot of notes actually for all the nuggets that we've been dropping here to help you find your winning product. But I just want to kind of say one more thing, and I'll get Melissa and Christy to chime in here as we're coming to a wrap, is really at the end of the day, finding your winning product is not going to be easy. You have to be super patient with this. And the only way it's going to be easier is if you help along the way. So if you're an individual right now sitting there, you're listening, John, Mary, whoever that you're listening for wherever in the world, let me just say something to you, especially for those that are not at the stage financially or whatever the case may be to invest into getting proper help. I'm going to speak out to you specifically that are willing to do it yourself. Being patient with product research is so important, because you're not going to come across that winner so soon, especially because you are still trying to figure this out yourself. So having the sheer patience and actually going through and really documenting your journey, and also having proper systems and processes in place is going to be super important, but more importantly for yourself mentally. So the sheer patience behind finding your winning product is going to be super important for you to really kind of have the motivation to keep going, because it may not be your 5th product. It may not be your 17th product. It may not be even your 40th product. And that's scary. Like, you go through 40 different products. It doesn't pan out. That's the reality of it, especially when you're doing it yourself. So my little quick, another little tip for you is having the sheer patience to kind of keep going through products at a very fast speed. Now, what's another quick tip that we can give there, Melissa? Because we kind of gave a lot here, but so much more on the spiritual side, and kind of setting expectations for success and not setting expectations for failure, is what kind of mindset that we should get. The person listening today have how to go through this as they're finding their winning product. So for me, it's sheer patience and just being completely patient with the process, and that you're not going to find your winning product tomorrow or next month.
For me, it would be having the mindset that this is going to be a process and it's all about testing. So understanding that this entire process is just about how fast you're able to test your products and go through different products. And then making sure that you pass through the product research system. So we gave a lot of golden nuggets in this episode of what you should be looking for, using Google Trends as one tool that you can use to validate the market as well as the product. So taking a lot of those notes down and making sure that your product is passing through these different steps that we gave you, as well as any other steps that you have in your own product research system. Because we only dropped, a couple of tips, and we're not going to share our entire system here in this podcast. However, just making sure that you understand that this is a process where you need to test, and having that mental mindset that it's all about the testing, and it's okay if you don't make sales on the products that you test, and knowing that it's going to be a process is the biggest thing.
Awesome. I love that. So patience and process. What's another one that you can throw in there, Christy? Just kind of setting people up for the proper expectations.
Yeah, I would say definitely having consistency. So always going into your product, your list of products, and continuously adding to it. Again, what Melissa mentioned, continuously testing it, making sure you also go back to some of the products previously just to double check that as well while you're continuously testing and adding additional products. So just having a lot of consistency and always, going back and reviewing different products and continuously adding to it, that really keeps up the momentum through the product research process.
I love that. And I want to share the three P's that I just randomly come up with, and I come up with a lot of funny stuff here and there. So the three P's I randomly just came up with, and I'm gonna break it down here in short. And this is something that this is what we went through in our journey as we're finding winning products, and super important to understand. And I'm gonna share here with you, so at least you have it. And this is something that you should probably write on your wall if you want to, do dropshipping the right way. Just write the three P's, okay? So the three P's, this is what you're going to need to understand, okay? The first P is perseverance. The second P is going to be process. And then the third and the last P is going to be promotion. So the first P with perseverance is like going back to it, having the patience, right? I guess it could be the first P can be patience or perseverance, but perseverance is in like just not giving up, to keep going there and to find that winning product. And at the end of the day, or the best piece of advice that I ever got as well, amongst the many amazing advices I got, was that sometimes success is right around the corner, but most people just give up before they cross that corner. And that's true to anything in business, is that if you give away too soon, but you don't see and reap the benefits and reap what you sowed. So just having the perseverance to keep going. The second one is process, like Melissa was saying, that you need to be able to have something that you can follow over and over. It's not about doing something new. It's not about reinventing the wheel. It's not about trying to do this and that all the time. It's about following something that works and sticking to it. And if it doesn't work, make improvements, but not constantly trying to do everything new, or trying to constantly come up with something new all the time. It's about following an actual process. So, for example, with the Google Trends that Melissa brought up, it's something that we follow regardless if we already tested over 10,000 products. It's something that we still follow. We'll make improvements along the way, but it's about having a proper process set in place to constantly follow, because it's about automating things, okay? Not manually constantly doing something new. So that's the second P. And the third P is understanding the promotion bit as well. So to help you really get that winning product to, make you hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and understand the promotional side of things, which will kind of go more into, as we're going to talk about, advertising campaigns and stuff, and, promotional content. But just having the promotional side of things, so you can understand how to properly advertise your product, is super important, because it's one thing to find a winning product, but it's also another thing to really put together something, a great campaign to really get eyeballs on it and really market it so people can understand the true benefits of it and have them incentivized and also motivated to buy your product. So those are the three P's you want to kind of live with as you are going through your dropshipping journey and also finding your winning products. So the three P's, to summarize back again, the first one is perseverance. Don't give up, okay? Way before, you should become successful, so don't give up too soon. And then this second P is process. So following something, to a T every single time. Don't try to reinvent the wheel every single day. And also the last one is promotion. Understand how to properly promote it, understand how to advertise it, because a winning product cannot go anywhere if there's no eyeballs on it. That old saying is that if you build it, people will come. It's a misnomer. No one's going to come anywhere if you don't actually market it. So anyways, with that being said, those are our tips when it comes to winning products. That's it for me. Is there anything else you want to kind of leave to the person listening to there, Melissa, before we kind of wrap up?
Just keep testing different products, and eventually you will reach your winning product, which is going to help you scale, and it's going to be textbook from that point.
Love it. Anything for you there, Christy?
Be strict and follow the process. Make sure that your product is going through each step of, the methodology, and making sure that, again, it's unique and solves a problem, women dominated, following all that criteria when you are picking your product.
Awesome. I love that. And what was one quote that kind of helped you, or kind of summarize, what we had to go through for yourself, on the side there? What is one quote that you would say to yourself as we're going through this journey so we wouldn't give up? Anything that comes to mind, Melissa?
Well, the only word that keeps coming to my mind right now is something that one of our mentors when we first started said to us, is making sure that you are consistent and be obsessed with e-commerce. When you're obsessed at something, you're going to get good at it, whether you start from completely zero knowledge from the ground, or if you have a little bit of knowledge. But as long as you have the mentality of keeping to be consistent, keeping on improving every single day, then eventually you are going to get so good at this that you'll start to be teaching other people in this process and making a difference in their lives.
Love it. And for you, Christy?
I would say don't marry the product, especially when you're doing your product testing. You want to keep on testing. So if you're finding that the product isn't going well, you definitely want to let it go and continue on to the next product. So don't stick to the product that you believe it's going to work out, but it's actually not working out.
Love that. Don't marry the product.
Yeah,
So don't just focus on one product. But that's only for products though, right? If you're going to marry someone, do the best you can to just stay with one partner. Don't go through multiple different partners. Okay, that's a different perspective. But when it comes to testing product, don't marry one specific product because there are going to be hundreds of other products out there that will do well. So if you are constantly focused and fixated on one product, it's going to really put you at risk because there are other 100 products out there that if you don't get on it fast enough, you're going to lose out on your chance. So I love that. Don't marry the product. The only thing that I will say, the quote that kept us going, and it's a quote that is going to keep you going, and more importantly, it's a quote that I tell all of our students and to be in the mindset of is that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when you're going to become successful. So I'll say that again. It's not a matter if, it's a matter of when you become successful. So you can use that in all different areas of dropshipping. It's not if I find a winning product, it's when I find a winning product. It's not if I create a great store, it's when I create a great store. It's not if I can run and put together a great Facebook campaign, it's when I can put together a great Facebook campaign or any kind of campaign. So be in that mindset. It's not if you're going to become successful at this, it's when you're going to become successful at that. When you say when you think when, then you're more long-term oriented. You're not so constantly sucked up in the short-term side of things and the instant gratification. So not if, but when. So with that being said, go out there, guys, and crush it and find your next winning product and tune into the next episode. Did you enjoy this episode?
If you did, which we believe you did, as we dropped a ton of value,
support us by giving us a 5-star rating.
That's 5 stars, not 3, not 4, but 5 stars.
Also, we'd love to hear from you, so please leave your comment below.
And we'll be sure to get back to you. Take care, and until next time.